All right, let's talk about a name that hasn't been in every headline this offseason, but maybe should be, because when it comes to solving a very specific issue in the Dallas Cowboys defensive scheme, this guy could be a sneaky good answer. We're diving into a free agent cornerback who might not be a superstar, might not cost a fortune, but has the traits, the experience, and the gritty mentality that could make him the perfect plug-and-play fit. And with the way the Cowboys' depth chart is shaking out in the secondary, this conversation couldn't come at a better time. So before we drop the name, let's paint the picture here. This isn't just about filling out the roster or bringing in someone for training camp reps. This is about finding someone who can come in and play a real role, particularly at the nickel corner spot, arguably one of the most difficult positions to master in the modern NFL. Nickel corners are tasked with doing everything. They cover some of the quickest, twitchiest slot receivers in the league. They help in run support. And in certain schemes, they're used as blitzers and disguise cover men. You can't just toss any backup outside corner inside and expect it to work. The technique, responsibilities, and space are completely different. And that's exactly where the Cowboys find themselves right now, searching for someone who can handle all of that. Now, let's rewind to what we already know. ESPN's Todd Archer mentioned in a previous report that if Darren doesn't lock down the nickel spot or if Don Bland is needed outside, Dallas might have to turn to the free agent market. And that's the crossroads. Because while Israel Mukumu might be a contender, there are plenty of question marks surrounding him. The team's internal options? Limited. I went back and looked at 10 cornerbacks with nickel experience. Not guys who are long shots to make the roster. Forget the Bruce Harmons and Luke Barkas of the world. We're talking about actual candidates. And the numbers, quite frankly, don't inspire confidence. Let's take Keeman Hall, for instance. He's got 14 total career snaps at nickel. 14. That's barely a blip. Israel Mukumu has played 171 snaps inside. That's about a third of his total time on the field. Don Bland has a bit more, particularly from his rookie year, but still not overwhelming. Troy Pride? 7% of his career snaps at nickel. Trayvon Diggs, who's a true outside corner, has just over 5%. Kalen Carson had nearly 0 inside snaps in college. Andrew Booth, Josh Butler, Savion Redwell, same deal. We're talking 5%, 3%, even as low as 1% in the case of Kaiir Elam. The point is this: the Cowboys don't have many players with real experience in that role. And here's the kicker. What happens if Don Bland has to stay outside longer than expected? Let's say Diggs isn't 100% to start the season, or Savion Redwell is on a snap count early on. Suddenly, your options shrink even more. What if Israel Mukumu, who is promised but hasn't been a full-time guy, struggles under a bigger workload? You're left scrambling. Injuries happen, and with the Cowboys already dealing with a banged-up secondary, you can't afford to be light at such a critical spot. That's why the idea of bringing in a veteran free agent starts to make a lot of sense. So let's talk names. Of all the corners left on the market, one stands out to me: Mike Hilton. Now, before you roll your eyes or think he's past his prime, hear me out. The Cowboys have a type, and Hilton checks a lot of those boxes. He's physical, he's instinctual, and he's one of the best run support nickel corners of the past 5 years. If you're looking for someone who's aggressive, experienced, and scheme versatile, someone who can contribute right away, Hilton is absolutely worth a serious look. First off, let's talk about his run defense, because in today's NFL, that part of the nickel job gets overlooked way too often. Offenses are spreading defenses out, putting pressure on the perimeter, and creating lanes where corners have to make tackles. You can't just cover, you've got to hit. Hilton has racked up 24 tackles for loss over the past 2 seasons and 36 over the past 4. That's elite for a defensive back. That kind of production doesn't come by accident. He's got a nose for the ball, takes good angles, and isn't afraid to stick his nose in the action. You want toughness in the slot? Hilton brings it, but he's not just a run stuffer. He's also a weapon as a blitzer, and that could be a game changer under new defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus. Let's not forget what Eberflus did early last season with the Bears. In the first 5 games, they blitzed at a rate of 27%. That's not crazy high, but get this, 45% of those blitzes came from either the nickel corner or an overhang safety/linebacker hybrid. That's a massive percentage and shows how much emphasis they placed on pressure from that specific area of the field. If that same philosophy carries over to Dallas, then Hilton becomes even more valuable. Look at what he's done as a blitzer over his career. Mike Hilton has more pressures coming off the edge than basically all the current Cowboys nickel candidates combined. Don Bland, for blitzes in his career. Israel Mukumu, 3. Trayvon Diggs hasn't even been used that way. Hilton, on the other hand, has made a living in that role. He times it well, disguises it pre-snap, and creates havoc. In a defense that's looking to get creative with pressure, especially early downs or in disguise-heavy packages, he'd thrive. And let's not forget his journey. This guy was undrafted back in 2016, got cut by the Jaguars, bounced around the Patriots practice squad, and then carved out a role with the Steelers. Not only did he stick, he outperformed teammates who were drafted much higher, like Senquez Golson. That's the kind of underdog story that Cowboys fans tend to appreciate. The Bengals saw his value and paid him, and while there have been ups and downs, the effort and football IQ have never been in question. Of course, there's some concerns. He just turned 31, which in cornerback years can be a red flag. And yeah, there's been a bit of a dip in coverage effectiveness. Last year, he allowed a 75% completion rate, gave up 3 touchdowns, and the Bengals started pulling him off the field in some passing situations. That's unusual for a nickel corner and suggests a decline in man coverage capabilities. But again, that's why this would be a role-specific signing. You wouldn't be asking Hilton to cover speedy slot receivers in man all day. You'd use him as a situational piece, early downs, blitz packages, run support, maybe even to give Diggs or Redwell a breather as they come back from injury. It's all about how you deploy him. If you're looking for a pure cover guy, maybe he's not your top option. But if you want someone who can bring physicality, veteran experience, and versatility to a thin position group, Hilton makes a lot of sense. He wouldn't be a long-term fix, but as a bridge player, as someone who can help stabilize a position that's currently a major question mark, that's where I think he shines. Let me put it like this. If you're a team with playoff aspirations with a top-heavy cornerback room that's one injury away from being exposed, then bringing in someone like Hilton is a move you seriously have to consider. It's smart roster building. You're not breaking the bank. You're not committing long-term. You're giving your defense a reliable, proven piece who can do the dirty work and set a tone in the middle of the field. That kind of addition might not make headlines in May, but come November, it could be the difference between winning a shootout or letting a game slip away. So the question becomes, are the Cowboys willing to make a small, strategic investment that could pay off in a big way? Or do they gamble on inexperience and hope someone steps up internally? Either way, this nickel corner situation is far from settled. And that's exactly why Mike Hilton should be in the conversation. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In a development that has sent shockwaves through the NFL world, rumors are swirling that Patrick Mahomes, the Kansas City Chiefs superstar quarterback, might be on the verge of an unprecedented move to the Dallas Cowboys. Sources close to the situation suggest that Mahomes was recently spotted arriving at the Cowboys headquarters, fueling speculation that he could be signing a monumental 4-year contract with the franchise. While nothing has been officially confirmed by either the Chiefs or the Cowboys, the mere presence of Mahomes at the Cowboys facility has ignited a firestorm of discussion among fans, analysts, and insiders alike. If this deal comes to fruition, it would mark one of the most stunning shifts in NFL history, effectively ending Mahomes' iconic tenure in Kansas City, where he has cemented himself as one of the league's most electrifying talents and a 2-time Super Bowl MVP. The prospect of Mahomes donning the silver and blue jersey is tantalizing for Dallas supporters, who have long awaited a game-changing quarterback to lead their team back to championship glory. The Cowboys have been linked to several quarterback rumors over the years, but landing a player of Mahomes' caliber would instantly position them as immediate Super Bowl contenders. Insiders speculate that the reported 4-year contract could come with a staggering salary package, making Mahomes one of the highest-paid players in NFL history. This move would not only elevate the Cowboys' offense to a new level, but also dramatically shift the balance of power within the league's NFC division. Questions abound about how this potential signing might impact the Chiefs' future plans and who would be the next quarterback stepping up in Kansas City if Mahomes departs. The buzz has reached social media platforms where fans are torn between disbelief and excitement, eagerly awaiting any official confirmation. While the Chiefs have been silent on the matter, the Cowboys organization has neither confirmed nor denied the speculation, keeping the rumor mill in overdrive. The timing of Mahomes' visit to the Cowboys headquarters, especially during the offseason, adds further fuel to the fire, with insiders suggesting that negotiations might be far along. Should Mahomes officially join Dallas, the NFL landscape would undergo a seismic transformation, with major implications for team strategies, draft picks, and free agency moves in the coming years. Until official announcements are made, this story remains a tantalizing rumor, but one thing is clear. The NFL world is holding its breath, waiting to see if one of its brightest stars is about to make the boldest move of his career. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.